Man, it's been forever since I made a video, huh? How long exactly? Oh. Alright. So at the time of this recording, Pixar has recently announced that they are working on a sequel to the 2017 animated film Coco, slated for a 2029 release. I am going to come out and say that Coco is my favorite Disney Pixar movie of the modern era, and I believe it is the best film the studio has produced in the last decade. And yes, I am saying that knowing fully aware that the movie is in fact a ripoff of The Book of Life, which is another movie that I really like. But I don't think that's a bad thing. Coco is unique enough to stand on its own, and both the movies complement each other well. What, we can't act like two kings can't coexist? So yeah, I love Coco, and with all that being said, I don't think it needs a fucking sequel. Listen, this movie did such an amazing job in telling a complete story that I think attempting a sequel feels completely unnecessary. What exactly are you going to do in a sequel, and how can you even possibly top the original? It just seems pointless. Also, why 2029? The original movie came out in 2017, so we're talking 12 years apart. Why is the date so far away? Well, this date makes perfect sense if you live in the United States. Which if you do, I just want to say, I'm sorry. You probably hate it here, and honestly I fucking hate it here too, but as you know, we recently re-elected a certain Oompa Loompa back into office for a second term. And it just so happens that he hates Latinos. As an Afro-Latino myself, I can speak for everybody in saying that we fucking hate him too. Wait, let me take that back. I actually can't speak for everybody because some of us are actually responsible for getting him back into office. Yeah, listen, some of the most racist people I know just so happen to be my neighbors, even in spite of everything the Oompa Loompa has said about us. Some people are just dumb as fuck. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, the 2029 release is 100% intentional. Disney is clearly banking on the Orange Man finishing his second term and is hoping that a new, far less fascist president will take his place and repeal much of his bullshit. Assuming the Republican Party doesn't make it possible for him to pursue a third term. You know, Project 2025 and all. Doom and gloom. I know. It's fucking stupid that this is even a possibility. But I think you pretty much get the idea now. Disney can realistically start production of Coco 2 right now and get the film released within the next 2 years. But for obvious reasons, they won't do that. You know how corporations are. Currently, many of them are acting like we don't exist. But as soon as it becomes convenient for them, they are going to turn around and act like they're our best friends. So what exactly are they going to do for the sequel? Well, I gave it some thought, and I do have one theory. Since the movie revolves around Dia de los Muertos, they may consider introducing La Santa Muerte, or at least a version of her. La Santa Muerte is the real-life Mexican folk saint and goddess of death who is worshipped by many Protestant Catholics around the world, many of which are part of the Hispanic diaspora at large. In her home of Mexico, she is especially beloved and celebrated during the national holiday of Dia de los Muertos. If she were introduced in Coco 2, realistically, she could be portrayed as the ruler of the land of the dead. Except there's just one problem. The Book of Life, which I mentioned earlier, already did that. With the character La Muerte, who is the ruler of the land of the remembered. This character is clearly based on La Santa Muerte, and personally, it is my favorite portrayal of the folk saint. See, there are a lot of misconceptions on La Santa Muerte as being a satanic figure because of her appearance. I mean, she is a skeleton, so many people view her as being terrifying. There is also the fact that certain members of the Mexican drug cartels also venerate her as well. However, I'm here to tell you that there is nothing inherently evil about her. To many, she is a motherly figure that's meant to help those in need. And in the Book of Life, she's portrayed as just that, a doting mother who has compassion for all of her subjects. Plus, her design is just incredible. I love this design so much that I practically wear her as an avatar on my social media accounts. And yeah, like I said earlier, Santa Muerte is worshipped by members of the cartel. But who gives a fuck? Most of the elected politicians in the United States claim to worship the Lord Jesus Christ, and yet they are currently stripping all our rights away while rubbing elbows with pedophiles. It really doesn't matter. You can claim to be a child of God and still be a complete dumb fuck. You know what else is ironic? George R. Gutierrez, creator of the grossly underrated El Tigre series and the director of The Book of Life, has been trying to make a sequel for the film for several years now, but it's never gotten past the design phase, and all we really have to go off by is this poster. And I'm not really sure as to why. I feel really bad knowing that we might see a Coco 2 before ever seeing a Book of Life 2. Seriously, let that man make his movie. But yeah, that's all I got. I have no idea what else they can do with this film. I still really don't want this sequel, but I know at the end of the day, it's just business. Coco grossed over $800 million at the box office, and I'm guessing Disney feels like a sequel can hit that billion-dollar bullet. The Latino market is far too valuable not to try and make a profit off of. But in order to even greenlight this sequel, they need the current president to be out of the picture. They're too scared to piss him off right now because some of the higher-ups at Disney are trying to act buddy-buddy with him. But as soon as he's gone for good, preferably in a casket, they're gonna move forward with the production of the sequel, while simultaneously crawling back to us and claiming to be our allies, because they really want our wallets. That's American Capitalism 101, baby. All friendships are purely transactional.